More than 25,000 fans dressed in vibrant tie-dye clothing. Mickey Hart, the last surviving founding member of the Grateful Dead, stood on stage with tear-filled eyes. And in the middle of the ceremony, Natascha Weir whispered a sentence to Mickey that made both his heart and the hearts of thousands of fans break into tears. I imagine you felt the same way when Jerry passed. As the lyrics of Ripple echoed across Civic Center Plaza, a hawk flew overhead in the San Francisco sky, a symbol of the free spirit of a musical legend who had just departed. This was not just a funeral. This was the deepest tribute from the woman who stood beside Bob Weir for 26 years. Let us explore this deeply moving story together. On a sunny Saturday in San Francisco, January 17, 2026, Civic Center Plaza, the heart of the city, witnessed a scene unlike anything before. Approximately 25,000 fans from across the United States and even from other countries gathered here, all wearing colorful tie-dye outfits, the iconic symbol of the hippie movement and of the Grateful Dead themselves. This was not merely a funeral, but a musical celebration, a vivid and love-filled memorial, perfectly aligned with the spirit Bob Weir embraced throughout his life. The ceremony began with an emotional procession. The hearse moved slowly along 3 blocks of Market Street, carrying an atmosphere that was solemn yet warm. What made it especially moving was that Natascha Weir, Bob's wife of 26 years, sat inside the hearse, continuously waving and blowing kisses toward the fans lining both sides of the street. This was not the image of a woman consumed by grief, but of a strong woman who understood that Bob would want people to remember him with smiles, with music, and with love. That moment brought thousands to tears, not only tears of sorrow, but tears mixed with gratitude and joy, a complex blend of emotions that only true Grateful Dead fans can fully understand. The event also drew many prominent figures from the worlds of music and politics. Joan Baez, an icon of the civil rights movement and folk music, was present to honor her longtime companion. John Mayer, who had played alongside Bob in Dead and Company in recent years, also attended and played a significant role in the ceremony. Even Nancy Pelosi, former Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, was in attendance, showing respect not only for Bob Weir as an artist, but also for his role as a social activist. The remaining members of Dead and Company, including Mickey Hart, Bob's closest friend since the earliest days of the Grateful Dead, were also present to say goodbye to their brother. The ceremony was not just a gathering of fans, but a gathering of a musical community, an extended family that Bob had spent his entire life building and nurturing. To understand why this memorial was so special, we must look back at the love story between Bob Weir and Natascha Munter. They were married on July 15, 1999, in Mill Valley, California, in a private but deeply meaningful ceremony. Notably, there was a 20-year age difference between them. Bob was born in 1947, while Natascha was born in 1967. Yet this age gap was never an obstacle to their love. In fact, they had met much earlier. Natascha was only 15 years old when she first attended a Grateful Dead concert, and it was there that she was drawn to the band's music, and especially to Bob Weir. Of course, their relationship only truly began once Natascha had reached adulthood, but the story of that first encounter always remained a beautiful part of their shared journey. Natascha was not merely the wife of a rock star. She was an independent person with her own values and mission. Coming from a family of medical professionals, both her parents worked at the Mayo Clinic, one of the most prestigious healthcare systems in the United States. Natascha was raised with a strong sense of care and responsibility. She became an active social activist, advocating for reproductive rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and environmental protection. These values aligned perfectly with what Bob Weir had pursued throughout his life. The Grateful Dead were not just a band, they were a cultural movement, a community of people who believed in peace, love, and positive social change. Natascha brought Bob not only love, but also stability, a solid foundation that allowed him to continue his relentless touring career. Natascha's role in Bob's life cannot be overstated. For more than 2 decades, she was his quiet partner, always behind the scenes, caring for his health, managing family life, and ensuring that Bob could focus on music. With her family's medical background, Natascha paid close attention to Bob's health, especially in recent years as age and health issues began to take their toll. Together, they raised two daughters, Monet and Chloe Weir, both of whom later became individuals with artistic inclinations and strong commitments to social justice, reflecting the values instilled by their parents. The love story of Bob and Natascha stands as proof that a true partnership is not built solely on initial attraction, but on mutual respect, shared values, and the willingness to walk together through every rise and fall of life. In July 2025, Bob Weir received the diagnosis no one ever wants to hear: cancer. For a 78-year-old man who had devoted his entire life to music and touring, it was an undeniable shock. But true to the spirit of a fighter, Bob refused to let the illness steal his passion. Just 3 weeks after beginning treatment, he stood on stage at Golden Gate Park to perform 3 nights celebrating 60 years of Grateful Dead music. These were not just concerts, they were Bob's final gifts to his fans, to the community he cherished. Those who were present sensed something extraordinary, a depth of emotion and intensity in every note he played, in every lyric he sang. Behind the scenes, Natascha was the anchor holding everything together. She managed logistics, ensured Bob had the strength to perform, and provided constant emotional support. Natascha knew that music was Bob's lifeblood, and even as illness slowly weakened his body, she wanted him to do what he loved until the very end. This was not an easy decision. Many would have believed Bob should rest, should spend his remaining time peacefully with family. But Natascha understood that, for Bob, music and family were inseparable. The Grateful Dead fans were also his family, and the stage was where he felt most alive. So she supported his choice, stood by him, and fought alongside him until the very end. The Golden Gate Park performances became legendary. It was said that Bob played with an emotional intensity never seen before, as if pouring his entire soul into every song. John Mayer, who shared the stage with Bob in Dead & Company, later said he felt honored to stand beside Bob during those nights and that he would treasure those moments forever. The other band members felt it too. They knew these might be the last times they would ever play with Bob, and they gave everything they had. Finally, on January 10th, 2026, Bob Weir passed away peacefully in the arms of his family. He had battled cancer and defeated it, but severe lung complications ultimately led him to eternal rest. He departed as a warrior, a true artist, and a man who had lived every moment of his life fully. The memorial at Civic Center Plaza was not only a musical event, but a deeply spiritual ritual. It began with Buddhist monks chanting prayers for healing and peace for Bob's soul. This reflected the Eastern philosophy that Bob and the Grateful Dead had embraced for decades, a philosophy of connection, of the rebirth of energy, and of accepting death as a natural part of the cycle of life. After that, tribute videos from many famous artists were shown on the large screen. Willie Nelson, a longtime friend of Bob, sent his heartfelt condolences and shared beautiful memories they had experienced together. Bob Dylan, who had also toured with the Grateful Dead in the 1980s, posted a black and white photograph of Bob, Jerry Garcia, and himself on stage, without words, yet filled with meaning. Bob's two daughters, Monet and Chloe Weir, then took turns stepping onto the stage to speak about their father. Monet, the eldest daughter, emphasized Bob's role not only as a great musician, but also as a human rights activist. She said her father always believed that music had the power to unite people, to transcend barriers and divisions. In today's world, as American society is experiencing increasing conflict and polarization, Bob's message has become more important than ever. Monet expressed her hope that her father's musical legacy would continue to inspire people to come together and love one another more deeply. Chloe, the younger daughter, is a talented photographer who had captured many moments during her father's tours. She presented a selection of her most beautiful photographs, images that showed not only Bob on stage, but also intimate moments, his smiles, his loving glances toward family and friends. Chloe affirmed that her father's legacy would live on for future generations, not only through music, but through the values and love he shared with the world. And then came the most powerful moment of the ceremony. Everyone present, from the artists on stage to the thousands of fans in the crowd, joined together to sing the ballad Ripple. This is one of the most iconic songs of the Grateful Dead, with lyrics rich in philosophy about life, connection, and leaving a positive mark on the world. John Mayer held an acoustic guitar and led the entire sing-along, joined on stage by Bob's family members, friends, and fellow musicians. The lyrics, "Ripple in still water, when there is no pebble tossed nor wind to blow," rang out like a prayer, like a farewell, and like a promise that Bob's legacy would continue to spread like ripples on water, touching countless lives for generations to come. Throughout the ceremony, Natascha Weir displayed remarkable strength. She did not break down in tears or collapse in grief. Instead, she stood firmly, smiled at the fans, and radiated positive energy. But there was one moment that made everyone pause and truly feel the depth of her pain. That was when she approached Mickey Hart, the only founding member of the Grateful Dead physically present at the ceremony, and whispered a short but weighty sentence. "I imagine you felt the same way when Jerry passed." Jerry Garcia, Bob's closest friend and fellow founding member of the Grateful Dead, had died in 1995, leaving a profound void in Mickey's heart and within the entire Deadhead community. Now, with Bob's passing, Mickey once again had to face the pain of losing a brother, a companion of more than 3 decades. Natascha's words expressed deep empathy, an understanding of the brotherhood within the band, and the shared grief of an entire community. Another magical moment occurred while everyone was singing "Ripple." Natascha looked up at the sky, and at that very moment, a hawk flew overhead. In many cultures, especially within Native American traditions, the hawk is a symbol of freedom, spiritual strength, and the connection between the physical and spiritual worlds. For Natascha and many fans present, the hawk was a sign from Bob, a message that his soul was free, that he had transcended suffering and was now soaring in infinite space. Many people witnessed this moment and later shared it on social media, where it became one of the most beautiful and meaningful images of the memorial. It was not merely a coincidence. It was a magical moment, one in which music, nature, and spirituality merged into one. Natascha's tribute did not end with her actions and words during the ceremony. In the days that followed, she posted a message on Bob's official website, thanking everyone who attended, those who sent condolences, and especially the fans who loved Bob not only as an artist, but as a friend, as a brother. She emphasized that Bob had lived a full life, a life without regrets, and that her family would continue to protect and preserve his legacy. Natascha's emotional intelligence was clearly reflected in the way she handled everything. She did not hide her pain, but she also did not allow that pain to overshadow the positive things, the beautiful memories, and the values Bob left behind. She chose to share her grief publicly, not to seek sympathy, but to honor the sense of community that Bob had spent his entire life building. In the days following the ceremony, the global Deadhead community began a special movement, organizing small concerts in local parks, playing songs by the Grateful Dead and Dead & Company, all in remembrance of Bob Weir. From New York to Los Angeles, from Chicago to Austin, hundreds of spontaneous tribute gatherings emerged, demonstrating the profound impact Bob had left behind. This was not the result of any organized campaign, but a natural response from the community. Proof that the music and spirit Bob shared had truly taken root in the hearts of millions. When asked about these tributes, Natascha shared that this was exactly what Bob would have wanted. Not grand monuments or luxurious museums, but ordinary people picking up guitars, singing his songs, and connecting with one another through music. One lesser discussed yet extremely important aspect of Bob's legacy is the philosophy of music never stops. The Grateful Dead were famously known for encouraging fans to record concerts and freely share them, something incredibly rare in the music industry. Bob believed that music belonged to everyone, that it should be experienced and shared freely, not locked away behind copyrights and complicated contracts. Today, online archives of Grateful Dead and Dead & Company performances contain thousands of hours of high-quality recordings, all accessible for free. This is an invaluable gift that Bob and his colleagues left to the world, and Natascha has pledged to continue upholding this principle. She is working with streaming platforms to ensure that future generations will always be able to access Bob's music without financial barriers. The memorial for Bob Weir has ended, but the story of love, music and community continues. Natascha Weir showed us that the best way to honor someone who has passed is not to hide our pain, but to open our hearts to the community, transforming sorrow into a force for connection. From the emotional whisper to Mickey Hart to the moment the hawk flew across the sky, every detail carried profound meaning about love and freedom, the very values Bob pursued throughout his life. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more meaningful stories. Don't forget to share this video with those who love music and believe in the power of love. What do you think about the way Natascha Weir organized this memorial? Have you ever experienced a similar moment? Please share your story in the comments below. As the song Ripple reminds us, every good action creates waves that spread outward. Live fully and leave a positive mark. See you in the next video. Peace and love.